How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna tweet this out as always. The last time I did one of these nighttime streams, it did really well, and a lot of people seem to like it. Um, so I'm gonna try another one. We'll see how Sunday night goes. But how's it going, everyone? I was just catching up on some Zikarsky, and I figured I'd stream it because I don't know. I don't feel like I've seen anyone talk about him recently. I think this is like his first game back in quite a while, but I haven't really watched much of him at all this season, and I'm kind of just trying to catch back up on what he's actually been doing. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a nice day and isn't too mad about the Chiefs game. I'm not mad about the Chiefs game. I really wanted the Bills to win, but I'm not because I'm a Chiefs hater, but I don't know. Eventually, Josh Allen will get one. How's it going, Camille? How's it going, G? I'm doing good. I am doing well. Like I said, aside from mourning my Bills, I can't complain much otherwise. Good show. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it as what's up, Conquer. I don't really know how to explain it as much as like Rocco just doesn't do as much as he did last year. Like his impact is just lower. Like he like broke my stupid little impact tracking hand charting stuff that I'm doing, that if you follow me on Twitter you probably will have seen me post about. Just because he was like so productive and played 5 minutes a game, but sometimes hard. Can do a Khalil Ware video. I did a Khalil Ware video for a couple days ago. How's it going, Isaac? How's it going? I don't know. Two-way contra. That would be great. I would take. I mean, I would still take Rocco in the top 20 or top 25. I think he just has too many valuable traits and has enough of a history of being productive, especially against his own age group at a really young age. He's still 18, playing in a pro league. But if you get him with a two-way, that would be incredible. I think there's a better chance he just like doesn't declare and stays in Australia or does something than actually goes and like takes a second round pick. But no, I think he's too talented to totally fall out. A little too high up right here. And just not that explosive. Who was hired? Definitely Malawash. I think Malawash just has like a different level of physical tools that I was kind of skeptical would translate based on his BAL stuff, but I've been fully moved. He's amazing. He's so good. He is so much better. I definitely considered myself a Malawash fan. Like I did a video on him this summer where I think I was pretty praiseworthy of him overall, but he's way better than I expected him to. Malawash is a bull. I have done that in my mock drafts. I think that would be really good. I think that'd be incredible. I think it's one of the best outcomes that could possibly happen for them. Honestly, right up there with like the best guys in this class. Yeah, Malawash is just like has blown me away. Something about these Duke bigs and you know, exceeding expectations lately. Lively, kind of similar. I mean, Lively, I think is a very different prospect, but like, I mean, Lively was also different because he was bad early in the season, and I think it took Malawatch like less time to really make his mark than Lively, because Lively was pretty rough through the first half of that Duke season, just like locked in and exploded towards the end, which I do, but yeah, Malawash is so awesome. Such a big fan of his. I have a lot of faith in his upside. But yeah, I'm still relatively in on Rocco. Like he just doesn't seem like he's in like again like It seems like I was muted. Am I unmuted now? I need to fix my mic. Who does everyone have in the Super Bowl? I can't pick against the Chiefs. It's not gonna happen. But I don't know. It would be cool to see the Eagles get back, but also I wouldn't mind a Mahomes 3P either. Oh, good lob. Good lob. Yeah, really good. He's definitely going to be a good like lob target. Honestly, I think that's going to be something. He's like his hands aren't as good to me as like Malawash has ridiculously good hands. But yeah, the Eagles are going to be good. I mean, I don't know. That team is really fucking good, and Barkley is ridiculous. And I feel like the Eagles do have a certain like devil magic-y twang to their kind of whole existence. Oh, Rocco for 3? Oh, I like him taking a 3. Looks pretty good, honestly. Looks pretty good. Pretty smooth feet. Nice sway. Not a bad looking jumper. Yeah, I could see Philly winning for sure. I don't know if I want to do another Rocco Zikarsky game. So if there's anyone has someone they want to watch, then we can probably make that happen. But I don't know if I want to do Rocco again. Let me see. Who else could we watch? Let me find someone. But yeah, I like Rocco. I think. Do you mean the Michigan State Fears? I assume you mean the Michigan State Fears. We can do that. I can watch a Michigan State because we can watch Jase too. Jase, yeah, I like Jase. I'm not fully sure on exactly how high I'm gonna be on Jase, but I definitely think he's good. Fears is also really good too. I don't know how I feel exactly about Fears as like a pro. Let's watch the Rutgers game from yesterday. Wait, that'll be good. Oh, did Harper not play? Oh, Harper did play. He must be like Harper's definitely still getting back from his injury, right? Like he certainly must be. And Jase had 20, so we can watch this one too. All right, cool. Let's get this going. Oh.
Header here at the Garden, and we are underway. Michigan State controls the tip.
But yeah, I like Fears quite a bit. Interested to see Ace without the Ace. Let me actually change the title. The Ace, no Harper. We could do Newell or Phylon. SEC is like a decent rate. They copyright strike. ACC always does. Usually Big Ten is okay. Cool. But yeah,
Williamson can
break this game down. Ace.
He can handle the ball. He's a good playmaker, but He's not Dylan Harper. This kid's got great footwork going in that low box.
I've watched very little of this
Contact.
Michigan State team outside of like the clips of the guys that I want. I just haven't caught them. But I like Cohen Carr too. Cohen Carr. I believe Dylan came. How's it going, Bearden? Dylan came off of the bench in this game because he definitely is still dealing with some sort of injury. I'm pretty sure he only played like I don't know, like 13, 14, 15 minutes in this game. So something's up with him. I don't know exactly what.
Michigan State is known for. They've a little better lately in the early 30s, but he, to me, is the toughness of this team.
But yeah, I don't know exactly what's up with Dylan.
Making that deep one.
Unfortunately, but hope he can get back to top form, whatever his like health thing is, because man, he was so ridiculous early in the season. Even in some of the Big Ten games, he's still been really good, but definitely his early season stuff. They transferred my agenda. I mean, Lee is awesome. I mean, he's great regardless. I'd take him at some point, probably in the second round, but like early second round, I think is fair for Xavier. Sanford, I don't like him more than I like Joe Wieskamp. I mean, I did like Joe Wieskamp a decent amount. I had a good amount of faith in Wieskamp, but I don't like him as much as Wieskamp, which is to say, I think he could be like a Matt Ryan-y type who can stick around and get contracts just because of the movement shooting, but I probably wouldn't expect like a long-term rotation guy. It's certainly possible. Anyone who shoots at that size always has a chance, even if it's not a great chance. But yeah, I was burned by Wieskamp. I thought he was going to be a good rotation wing, but not a great pass.
Bailey gets his first touch of the Garden, deflected and retrieved by Grant. Raph, interesting to see Bailey running the pick and roll with Harper off the floor. Why not, right? The guy at 6'10" running the pick and roll. And Tom wants to take his right hand.
It's so crazy that Jase comes off the bench. I know it's Michigan State, but like Jase is so good. At the college level, Jase is undeniably incredible. Definitely have my thoughts for his pro level kind of stuff, but did Fears try to pass that or did I get blocked? I can't tell.
Rutgers tough on the interior. Welcome to New York City and Big Ten basketball. This guy
okay, Ace. There we go.
And Big Ten
deep pull up three on the Knicks court. That is sick.
And Big Ten basketball. This guy in the early. Ace.
Yeah, I mean he's been so willing to just like rip these in transition. Like it's definitely a thing. Like Jabari Smith did that a ton in college as well. He was just like ripping the early offense, pull out transition three type play. Michael Porter Jr. obviously that was just that. He's always done that. Not really Ingram though. Another guy. Ingram not. He's never been that much of a off-field three-point shooter. I'll pull up these. Oh my God! Did you get that? Okay, no. Oh my goodness, he went up for that. That was. I like them just throwing up to him. He can really get up in space. Like I don't think he's the best athlete in like tight spaces always. But he is definitely a good athlete. Like in open space, he can definitely get up.
See if they can keep the guards out of the lane.
Cohen Carr. I love watching Cohen Carr. He's so sick. I don't know if Carr is going to be like an NBA guy, but that guy is like a monster athlete. So explosive. Like one of the craziest explosive athletes in all of college basketball. Gotta be. Can we load, please? Let's go, Jason, the game.
Carson Cooper is in now for Michigan State. They have a bunch of bigs. He's starting to make that floater.
Good passing.
Now for Michigan State. They have a
Cooper is in now. Good quick decision by Carr. Good start for Carr. Big fan. I always like Michigan State's role players. I loved what's his name? Malik Hall. Malik Hall was cool. Like Caleb Comfort, Caleb Wilson. I don't really have a good one yet. I don't see those guys just because I don't think Wilson is much of a passer. Like I think Wilson's defense is his main thing. I mean, I guess like defensively maybe for a guy like Jalen Johnson. He's just like I don't think they're that similar. I'm trying to think of a guy like Wilson. I don't love his offense. I just think he's kind of limited in terms of what he can do as a creator, and he's like a good like cutter and secondary scorer. But his defense was incredible this summer. I don't know, maybe like different flavor Jaden McDaniels-y, like definitely also a good passer.
Somerville off the
Very nice.
Doesn't go. Rebound. Bailey with the length. Just elevate.
But yeah, I'm not super confident in Wilson's offense, but I think his defense is phenomenal.
Bailey trying to save it, and he does.
And him joining Knight Riders and making a UFL super team was fun. He was so good there. Definitely saw him with his best brought out, playing for a really good team with lots of good passers and shooters and defenders. Good pass by Fear.
Booker, that's what he does a lot. He's a standing rebounder as well. 8 boards per game. Look at his speed with the ball. Long strides, pull up.
Definitely see the handle kind of giving out on him here.
Long strides, pull up.
Where am I between Khan and Liam? Khan, but like same tier, same range. I think Khan just has a little bit more juice as a creator, especially as a passer. Like his passing has been awesome this season to me. Like Duke is asking him to run a lot of pick and rolls. Like, he's a really impressive player. Oh, there's Dylan. Like making these kind of impressive pick and roll reads, especially the lobs to Malawash and Cooper this year. And he's like still the crazy shooter. But McNeely, I think is like in the same range. He's probably a little bit better. In terms of like in terms of his driving game, both kind of like questionable-ish defenders. I don't know. I think they're close. I think it kind of depends more on what your team is looking for. I'd probably take Khan most of the time just because I value his skill set more, you know, for the majority of teams. But and I think his ceiling is a little higher too. But overall, both good. I think McNeely is good. He's also, I don't think he's the same level of passer as Kniffel, but like he can definitely make some basic like pick and roll stuff, and he's always been a really solid decision maker. Even going back, like both of these guys, just going back to high school, have the sickest shooting resume. Good pass by Harper. Just a little pop over the top there. Yeah, that was a tough finish, but good pass. Jase always passes with one hand. Thoughts on Trey? I think he's really special, a little underappreciated. I like Trey. I think he has some very high level qualities. I think overall as a prospect, wait, did Ace Spike pass it? Oh wow. Okay, that was a fucking dime. He just dropped it. It was a beautiful pass. Okay. Trey, I kind of view as like a pretty narrow ranges of outcomes guy. Like I don't think he has a ton of upside because of the driving issues and the creation stuff. But I also think he's like almost certainly going to be pretty good because he's just that level of shot maker, and he has a great handle and he can definitely pass. But again, I very much worry about like these shot making specialist guards. And I think Trey's defense is solid, but definitely still not consistent. And like he can definitely pass, but the decision making kind of worries me. But overall, I think he's quite good. Like I think we saw the Mizzou game recently where he was kind of bottled up for almost the entire game, but then made some huge plays at the end on the drive, which is definitely important. But yeah, I like Trey though. I think he's definitely a lottery guy. Like I think I don't know. You could probably take him as high as like 6 or 7, and I wouldn't really think that's crazy at all. Like I don't know. Higher than that, maybe a little rich, but like I get it if you're certain teams or really want that like scoring archetype. But
two-man game with Bailey. He's out of bounds. Players, they can't happen. 10-1 day shot. State has it now. Look at how many bench players they have that has created this type of. Jase Richardson's good on those curls. Then they got 3. And look at this both of his
drive.
Michigan State does a great job on those base.
I need to catch some Kansas games recently because I know my guy Flory has been cooking. So I need to go give Flory his flowers. That guy's a freaking beast. It's a rotation by Jase. Trying to wall up at the rim. It's a very good transition passer. I love it. He's always looking up, like looking to hit guys. Oh shoot, I need to mute it. Why didn't nobody tell me to do that? Please remind me to mute the thing. I need to just have it auto set to mute. Good stump. These Rutgers jerseys look way too much like Indiana jerseys to me. I keep thinking I'm watching Michigan State, Indiana. Maybe that's just me, but I keep watching this and I'm like, this is not the right. This is Miles Rice. I'm like, wait, what? No, that's still Harper. I like Frankie Fiddler a lot too, by the way. He's good. I think he can play. Jase, good 3. I liked Fiddler. Where did I draft LeBaron? I draft LeBaron really high. I take him top 5 to the right team. Probably not, easy Euro step. Probably not higher than like 5 or 6, but I think if you're a team that like the Nets or someone who just like needs, or like the Jazz or whatever, who just like they or the Bulls who like so badly need stars in any form, I think he's one that's kind of worth betting on. Hugo, he hasn't played much. I think he's been solid when he's played. But I have him in a similar range. Like I think I've dropped him a little bit, but like that like late lottery, or not late lottery, like mid first, like post lottery area. But he's just not playing is the thing. Like he's up with like Real Madrid, like the big team, which is obviously good in the moments when he's playing and getting experience, but definitely like doesn't get to play as much, I don't think, as he would otherwise. But I think he's still kind of the same guy to me at the moment. At some point, I'm gonna do like a real internationals deep dive, like I don't know, eventually, and just watch all of the international guys I'm behind on. Nice drive by Ace. Good post spin. That was really good. He feels the double, spins off of it. Really nice. LeBaron, I think his size and insane advantage creation and passing combination are just kind of are worth betting on. And I think the shooting is better than it was now. I honestly don't hate his shooting indicators this year, and I trust the high school sample, but like I just think he has a blend of like incredible burst, quickness, change of speed with his like handle, pick and roll feel, and just processing and like passing overall with like insane on and off ball defense upside. He gets kind of rinsed by screens at this point, but every other way, I'm really high on his defense. So yeah, I just think he gets a lot of really high level traits. He's a productive player at a young age, very impactful, even when he's not scoring because he moves the ball quickly. He's a great decision maker. And he has those moments where he can, create out of the pick and roll and win on drives to the rim. He's not, I wish he was more explosive vertically. So maybe just like putting on strength will be good for him in the future because he is, 18 or whatever. But yeah, I think he's awesome. And I think his ability to like fit in on this Alabama team, on like arguably one of the best teams in the country, is really encouraging. Because he can be, and he has been, like the lead guy on teams, but obviously doesn't need to. in this situation generally, and he's good and adaptable. And I think being adaptable is really important as well. Bulls try to trade down. Yeah, I'm never against trading down. Honestly, I think that's generally a good idea. I mean, unless there's someone who's like, so high on your board or in like a totally different tier than everyone else, then I think trading down is almost always a good idea. Like, unless there's someone you like are sure you can't miss, which I feel like there usually isn't if you're trying to trade down, not out of like the top one or two. Harper. Harper is so good at splitting. Like his ability to like dribble the ball through a split is crazy. Really impressive. No one's gonna be able to double Harper in the league, which is awesome. He's just gonna pass right through them and just split every double team like he's Donovan Mitchell. It's gonna be great. Ace definitely seeing some of the balance issues. Rutgers cut the ball. Jase has done very little so far. I think this was a good box score game for him. Bucket. But yeah, the Bulls, I mean, I think the Bulls are like maybe the foremost example of a team that's like, get them someone who can be a star. I don't care exactly what it looks like. Like they need to start somewhere. I don't think they can be particularly picky about where that starting place is, like given their lack of like long-term talent on the roster. But I do like Matas. I'm a big Matas fan. If the Bulls were a sane team, he'd be playing 25 minutes a night. But they're the Bulls. Sorry. Oh, beautiful fade. That fadeaway is pure. It's just a good looking shot. Yeah, Ace is super. Ace is one of the players who's like when he's at his best, when he's on, it looks so good. It's so aesthetically pleasing. Of course, it's not always aesthetically pleasing. How do I feel about Yegor Demon? Not super high. I still think he's like a first round pick for sure because guys with his size and like processing and field are worth something. Again, I don't think that something is like a lottery pick or a top 5 pick just because the driving and the scoring limitations to me are very real, which is just kind of worrying. But I think especially if he can improve his shot, which who knows? Like he has some good indicators. The volume, his ability to get off different kinds of shots, off the dribble, off of movement, like that is encouraging, even if he hasn't really had a consistent stretch of making the threes yet. But I think as like a big wing connector, he's valuable. There's certainly something there. Is the Fears hype real? I think so, to an extent. Yeah. I don't know. He's not like a bulletproof prospect, but just guards at his age with like his kind of usage, one being productive and efficient, like creating good offense, scoring at an efficient clip, drawing a bunch of fouls, creating turnovers, being a productive, useful player. But like, obviously, his tools are amazing. He can get to the rim whenever he wants. He might have the best combination of like first step and handle in the entire class. And he can really pass too. Definitely like the turnovers and the decision making and just the general like pacing and feel as a driver at times. Like that's gonna have to get better. But I do just think there's so many high level things he does well where it's like those kind of players, if they hit, tend to be stars, right? Like his shot definitely isn't going in at the moment, but his touch is great. His free throw numbers are great. He's the fairly high volume guy. Like all of the indicators you want are there for a guy who ends up developing into a reliable shooter at some point. just a matter of mechanics and reps and mental stuff. Just getting right as a shooter. But I'd probably bet on him if I had to. I think he's really talented. I was a big fan of his in AAU as well. I would have had him as one of the best guys in the 2026 draft, probably, if that ended up being his draft. Yeah, just a really productive, good player. The fact that he has the kind of I'd take Fears a similar range to Phylon, like 5 to 10 is kind of my range for Fears at the moment. Give or take a few. But yeah, no, he just has that initiator potential that I think you have a hard time passing up. And I do think those guys have a pretty high floor too, even if they don't work out as stars, just because guys who can get to the rim and pass and stuff are valuable to some extent usually. Harper definitely not looking as juiced up on these finishes, maybe. Jase, good finish. Jase is like such a crazy, hyper efficient play finisher for a guy his age. I think Jase is like the third or fourth youngest player in this class. Like it's Cooper, it's Asengwe, it's Fears, and I think Jase might be the other guy. So obviously a good thing for Jase and for Fears is he's really young for his class, which of course is a very powerful indicator for star upside. Harper gonna make his free throws, or he's not. The travel and Fiddler, yeah. Tom is always seething. I was talking about this a little earlier. I think Malawash the Bulls is like legitimately one of the best outcomes that can come. I would take Malawash in the top 3 if we're being honest. Like I think he's that good. And the Bulls so desperately need stars. I think he has that upside, and they desperately need like a defensive anchor big who they literally have not had a good one of those in so long. But yeah, I think Malawash would be amazing there. I am a huge fan of his upside. I think his ability to be productive and effective at this young age. I think Fears is a lot better than Pettyford. I like Pettyford, but I think Pettyford's like a late first, early second guy. I think Fears is a lottery guy. Just Pettyford's size and ability to get to the rim are quite concerning to me. Like as much as I do think he's awesome, I just think the bar for 6 foot guards is just so high to be really good players in the league. But I do think Pettyford has as 6 foot guards go, has a pretty good chance of making it just because he is such an awesome shooter. His passing is great. He's skilled with both hands. He's a good defender. But no, I just think Fears like the size, the difference in size, the difference in interior scoring just kind of makes it so that I definitely buy Fears being able to improve more than Pettyford in some ways. But I do like Pettyford a lot. I think he's really good. I think I'd totally take him in the first round if I was certain teams. I don't know exactly like where I've given him. I think I've given him to Orlando in some of my mock drafts. He'd be so sick in Orlando. They desperately need a Pettyford type. Oh boy, Dylan, he get blocked and he got blocked. But yeah, I like Pettyford. Who are the really good small? Pettyford's like if Josh Hubbard was a little taller and just better, but there's so many good small guards. Jase or Reed? Probably similar, I think. I think they have a lot. I think they share a lot in common. I'd probably go Reed at this point. But also, I think Jase has just like definitely a physical tools advantage over Reed. And he's probably a little better creator as well, but just like not that level of like shooter and and just score overall. Also better on defense too. I don't know. I think it's close. I'd probably think. I don't think Malowash has motor issues, honestly. I think most of his issues at times just come with like recognition, where I don't think it's effort as much as it's like processing the floor slowly. Just because I do think he's still relatively new to basketball and figuring that stuff out. I mean, I think you can make a coherent argument that that's more more equally concerning as the motor stuff, but I think it's more like processing speed, play recognition stuff, like the mental side of like thinking through the game rather than like the motor, because I think his motor's always been fine. I definitely take Harper over McCain long term. I very comfortably, very, very comfortably. Come on, Jase. Come on, Jase. Use the right hand. Right hand. CMB, NBA comp, very difficult guy to compare to, honestly. I don't know. I don't have a good answer. I think he's not, I think he's a difficult one. I don't know, honestly. What do you think? Ian, this is another one I don't really have like a comparison for, but I do think he's going to be a good like off combo kind of situation. Maybe like a little less juiced Malik Monk. I don't know, like that type of player. Like very skilled if this shot is real. But I think probably just has like athletic and playmaking feel limitations that'll hold him back from being like a legit star. But he is just like really skilled and can do a lot of things with and without the ball. And I do think that is valuable. So I think Khan's upside comp. Good question. I haven't thought. Oh, beautiful. Look at Harper putting Cohen Carr in the. Jesus, man. Cohen Carr, one of the most like explosive athletic guys in all of college basketball. And Dylan Harper is like, I'm going to back you down, drop step, and finish my right hand. I fucking love Dylan Harper. That was so sick. Harper's so great. Why does my mic keep getting messed up? Thoughts on De La Rey? Big fan. I haven't watched much De La Rey recently. But any time I ever watched those Spain teams with Gonzalez, he was always really impressive. Just like a very good, well-rounded scorer, creator who can make plays out of the pick and roll. He was always like getting steals and creating turnovers and being annoying on defense. So I don't have like a crazy strong take for this cycle yet, just because I'll dive really deep into the internationals eventually. But I like De La Rey. I've always been a fan of his game. He's good. I like Lucas Langarita. I like a lot of those guys. Which player in the draft is highest ceiling, lowest floor? That's a good question. I don't think there's a lot of. I think like the quote unquote like boomer bust prospects are honestly rarer than people make it seem, just because I think generally like the really high ceiling prospects have a lot of ways for shit to go right, hence a high floor too, and inverse for like high floor, low ceiling guys. But it's a good question. Do I think it's high floor, low or high ceiling, low floor? Good question. Definitely, I think Queen is probably the best example of that to me. Where like I could totally imagine him washing out if like the defense is just that level of bad at the NBA level, and he just like isn't able to maintain that same the same advantage creation juice against NBA athletes. Like I could see that happening, even if I'd probably want to bet on him figuring it out. That's one that I think. Yeah, Fears is a good bet too. I think it's good as well. I think I buy Fears' ceiling a little more just because I think these like these like elite advantage creator, like pick and roll, really good pick and roll guys can figure it out as a role player. Ace really struggling to be physical here. But I do think, yeah, I could definitely also see a world where Fears is like a low rotation or just like a fringy guy. But I don't think so. I think Newell's is like a medium floor guy. I don't think his ceiling is particularly interesting, but he's probably going to be like a fine rotation big. Ooh, good skip by Ace. He's really hitting these post skips in this game, which is nice. Good to see. We love it. Yeah. Oh, Queen on the Thunder would be awesome. I would love that. Honestly, like, I feel like you can put like almost any prospect in this draft, and I'm like, ooh, that guy would be sick on the Thunder. Because even if they're not like, immediately useful for them, it's like, oh, they're the Thunder. You just like let them sit and then develop. Like they don't gotta play right away. Sure, I'll give them Fears or like Queen, yeah, or whoever. Like, even though I do think Queen would like, assuming Queen ends up being who we think he is, would be amazing for that team. He definitely needs to prove that he can lock in. Shout out Frankie Fiddler, by the way. No, that wasn't Fiddler. That was I don't remember who's 10 on Michigan State. Is that Zapala? I think that's Zapala. Yeah, CMB is very thundery. Quaintance, there's certainly like mixed opinion on Quaintance. But I think he's special. I think he's going to go top 5 next year. Yes, I agree with you. CMB is super thundery, productive, young, high feel, wingspan, rebounds. He's very thundery, absolutely. But Quaintance, I think just the tool ceiling with him is so high. Like we already see how impactful of a defender he is at 17 with the tools. And I think offensive flashes are intriguing. Like definitely ways he can go wrong, and if he doesn't, improve from year 1 to year 2, if he's still struggling with the decision making and the feel and the consistency on offense in the ways that he is, then he definitely wouldn't like automatically be warranted that slot. But I think outside of the top 3 guys and maybe Nate Ament, I'd probably prefer Quaintance over everyone in that class. He's really, really good to me. And after like 5 or 6, I don't think the 2026 draft is like that good. Obviously, pending returners, like if they get Flory, it's going to be a better class. Most Josh Hart, Devin Carter type prospect. Miles Bird, I guess, is a good one. Like defensive minded guys who also have some like real offensive utility as well. Bird isn't strong though, like Hart or Carter, to be fair. But yeah, I like Bird a lot. Miles Bird at San Diego State. If you're unfamiliar, really good player, underrated. Shout out Javon Small too, West Virginia. I don't think he's as good as like a Carter type, but it's like a very good basketball player in a lot of ways. Like really impressive pick and roll guy. Shooting is good. Defense like should be a useful player. And that West Virginia team is really cool. I like Tucker DeVries a lot too. I know Tucker's been injured, but I do like Tucker quite a bit, and he's fun. I hope he gets healthy. Ooh, good Euro by Fears. Fears was so good in high school, man. He was so good at Lalu. Bethea, I don't think Bethea is going to come out this year. Next year, I could see him being like a mid-late lottery pick if his projection from high school can kind of bear some fruit. But this year he's going to. I would be shocked if he didn't transfer to somewhere. I doubt he's going to have much draft buzz, honestly, at this point. yeah, I think transfer, or maybe he'll go like a different route or somewhere. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna be going to the NBA this year. At least I would be kind of surprised if he was. This film is from Synergy. Is Vassell struggling? I haven't paid close enough attention, honestly, but the the injury stuff with him is just so annoying. I like it. He certainly has just like a lot of issues staying healthy, and like staying consistent because of that. Also, I think better teams can help too. But if Peterson was in this draft, I oh I'd easily take Peter. I'd consider Peterson over Cooper. I wouldn't do it. I don't think so. But I think it's like a reasonable case to be made to take Peterson over Cooper. I don't think that's crazy. But yeah, Saraf versus Yakuchonis in terms of ceilings, definitely Yakuchonis. I just think he has the shot making and like even like the size and physicality difference is pretty enormous. And Saraf, you can argue. I don't know. I think Yakuchonis still has the higher floor, but like Saraf's floor is definitely high because he's so skilled and has the just like the awesome pick and roll game. But I think Yakuchonis has much more of a star ceiling. Who's been the biggest miss in terms of what I was super high on? That's a good question. Who was I super high on? Let me think. I mean, like Culver feels like so long ago. Like I don't even think I knew what I was talking about really at all, or when I had Culver at like top 2 or whatever in 2019. But so did so many people on draft Twitter as well, and like same with Killian Hayes. So I don't think those are particularly unique to. I don't think those are. No, I think Collier is going to be good. I still think Collier is good. I'm not worried. Jonte. Okay, to be fair, I did not predict Jonte to be a gambling addict. I would say my 2 biggest, most recent misses that I was really high on were Sharif and Jaden Springer. I still, maybe I'm delusional, but I swear Jaden Springer, like, with a chance could really, like, he just needs to be like a not horrible offensive player. Like his defense is so good. But more so Sharif, where just like, I don't know, my anchoring lesson of how just impossible it is to be Wesley's bad, unfortunately. I still think I still like stand by my process on Wesley and just betting on his advantage creation and the flashes. That's like a valuable archetype, but I mean, there's risk baked into those guys. But I think it's generally risks worth taking. So I don't mind the Wesley. I think Brandon honestly worse at this point in terms of what I expected them to be. Like I thought Brandon was going to be a little better than this. Davion was super fun in college. He was so much fun. I wasn't super high on him as a prospect in college, but he was definitely one of my favorite players to watch. Like oh my god, that Baylor team with him and Jared Butler and like, who's the guy who went to play tight end who played tight end? Not Mark Mitchell. The guy who is literally built like a football player. I feel like it's hard to like really call Fultz like a quote unquote miss because of all of just like the weirdness that surrounded his career. Like, I guess if you baked that in, then maybe, but I don't know. I feel like Fultz. Dude, Crawford is good. He's been good. Yes, Mark Vital. That's the guy. Thank you. I love Mark Vital. No, I think Crawford, like I honestly think he should. I don't know. He's probably fine in the G League, but I don't think he would be like a worse rotation player than Doug McDermott at this point. Like if they really needed a guy, and but Isaac I think should legit play. Like I would almost always rather have him over Len at this point. Like I think he's shown like he's been pretty solid when he's played in the NBA. Like especially a couple months ago, I think was the last time he was really getting like serious minutes. Right? I think at least. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I like Jones and yeah, I mean I can't say definitively what didn't happen with Fultz. So believe, I believe whatever you believe, but I don't know. I don't like know exactly what happened. But Podziemski, I don't know. I tend to just not believe that sophomore slumps will be that kind of damning. I'm still pretty optimistic. He was so good as a rookie in a better context, and I definitely think for as good as he is, like I think he's always like going to be a context dependent player, like one who isn't like a floor raiser by any means, who can like carry a bench unit, but on like functional good teams is just like a really damn good player. And I just think like he's been a high level shooter for most of his recent basketball life. So I'm not particularly worried about the shot being terrible forever. Like I believe that he will bounce back. So I don't think he's like the Warriors star or anything. Like I don't think he's going to be their next I don't think beautiful pass by Joe. Oh my goodness. Like I don't think he's a star maybe necessarily, but I do think he is a valuable piece, someone who is important to whatever future the Warriors portend to have these days. I don't really know what's going to happen with them, to be honest. It would be really cool if Steph got traded somewhere cool, but that's never going to happen, obviously. But it would be really cool if he went to like I don't know where Steph would go. It would be fun. The Lakers, no, I'm kidding. But like the Rockets, can you imagine Steph in Houston? Steph in Houston would be hilarious. I don't know how Houston fans might have like I don't know. That would never happen though. Steph to Miami. Steph, the absolutely cursed Steph Tyler Hero backcourt. I like that idea. Two deserving all-stars. Yeah, that would be fun. I would love to. I think that would be an incredible duo. I just want to see LaMelo on a good team so bad. I just want to see him on a competent team badly. And Steph would go a long way, but I don't have much faith in the Hornets. But I guess we'll see what the new ownership is capable of beyond like 1 or 2 off seasons. But the Salon pick isn't looking particularly good yet. I mean, it was always going to be like a long-term thing. Like he was never Warriors draft Juju Watkins and Paige Beckers. That would be. They might save the franchise. That is absolutely true. They definitely might. Yeah, I think that assessment of Dennis seems right. I don't have a super strong opinion, but I think that seems accurate. Probably not like but definitely like impressive shot maker. Who do I have for rookie of the year? At this point, I'd still probably give it to Wells or Edie at this point. Just I think like the two most impactful guys playing high minutes on good teams, getting counting stats. It's probably Wells at this point, which is the most insane thing in the world to me. That Jalen Wells is legitimately a guy who I think should be rookie of the year. Like Wells is so good. Like the LaMelo empty stat stuff is very dumb. Like it's whatever. I don't really pay attention to it. Is there Reed Shepherd bust discourse? That doesn't surprise me. I would advise ignoring it for the moment. How do I feel about Bird? I really like Bird. I'm super high on him. I think he's a guy who like could feasibly, after guys return and things shake, end up as a lottery guy for me. Like he's that level of good, I think. Just defense is amazing. The shot plus passing combination on the wing is crazy. Like I don't think his ceiling is that high just because of the driving and the vertical pop and the explosion, but like he is just so good. Mark Williams, damn. Mark Will is awesome. I need to watch this game against Memphis. That's something. Yeah, I need to watch that game. But I don't know. Probably not like full max player. I think, but I think he's. I'd have to think of a good like comparison contract. But I think Williams, like, assuming health, you can maybe pay near max money, like or like rookie scale. But I don't know. I feel like it's just hard given his track record. When am I going on Survivor? Whenever they email me back, that's when. Nick Richardson. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the LaMelo discourse is so bad. I don't think it's like I didn't have LaMelo as an all-star this year just because I think other guys there's like a lot of good guards in the East. I was like a fringy guy for that, but yeah, I could see Brooke Lopez like Miles Turnery kind of money maybe. I could see that. Is Tamar Bates a real NBA guy? I hope so. I need all my Mizzou guys to be real NBA guys. He could be. I probably wouldn't bet on it, but I hope so. I definitely hope so. It's on Whitmore. I think Whitmore is. I'm still in on Whitmore. I think Whitmore's still going to be good. I think he has honestly been quite useful for the Rockets, and I think he's been solid this year. Like in some recent games, especially like his juice off of the catch, like they're just so creation devoid that I think anything he can bring really helps them. But yeah, I still think he's really good. I think it's really good. Beauchamp, I think was I don't know, like, fine. I don't think Beauchamp was that great of a prospect. He was super fun in high school. I loved watching Beauchamp in Dream City, and I think he's honestly done a good job like adapting his game and trying to mold to the NBA. But probably like a low rotation guy, honestly. Queen, Sorber, Newell. That is how I would rank those three. Each with a tier, each in their own tier, I think. Yeah, each in their own tier. Connor McNeely, because I think the ceiling is just a little bit higher with his passing creation. For the young rebuilding teams, you have the worst future. What do we classify as young and rebuilding at this point? Honestly, because like it's Washington, probably. I mean, with their current roster, Brooklyn, I think clearly, but we know that they're going to get a really high pick in this draft, and they're going to have a lot of picks. So by next offseason, they won't be the worst. We should trade for Embiid. Nobody wants to. Nobody's trading for Embiid. Absolutely not. Nobody wants to deal with that. I mean, like, if you can count the Bulls as rebuilding, like, they're obviously not trying to, but in reality, like, they're, I don't know, very rudderless. Utah, again, like, could get a great pick that changes everything, but at the moment are pretty aimless. Like, I like a lot of their talent in a vacuum, but I'm just not sure. Brooklyn draft, that would be hilarious, man. That would be awesome. Koulibaly or Jarris? Probably Jarris, but close. I don't know. I think that's still really close. I like both of those guys a lot. Bilal definitely further away from being like a legit regular impact player, but obviously like the stuff he can do, he already has done on defense, and like the driving ceiling is probably a little higher than Jarris's, but like I think Jarris has shown like a ceiling trait, quote unquote, in his pull-up shot making from three, and is obviously an awesome passer. His defense has been great this year. So like I don't know. I'd probably take Jase if I had to. Um, I agree Ace Bailey. I think he's gonna really need to end up in a good spot, which obviously is true for most prospects. But like, I think Ace definitely is gonna need to land in a prospect with a good infrastructure. Doesn't necessarily have to be a good team, but like, just someone that's Utah taking paternity. I still like Hendricks and George a little bit. Like, I think they're good role players at their ceilings, which is what I expected for both of them coming out. I just think Keontae is just being asked to do way too much, which is fine. Like, the Jazz are terrible. Might as well get him reps and see if he can ever develop into a creator. But I think that's like an off-ball guy. He'll be fine. Cody, yeah, I mean, I don't think that was a good pick, and I don't expect much. But hey, who knows? Anything can happen. I think 26 is better because of the top end talent. Like, the top end talent in 26 is legitimately all time, probably. Bailey will not thrive as a Bull. Low key, Ace in this like air raid, run and gun, Billy Donovan just like shoot a billion threes in transition offense. He might actually be fine. He might actually be solid. Yeah, Keontae is just like, his scoring was always raw. His creation was always going to be a problem. But the fact that the Jazz are like, you're going to be a lead guard, good luck. Certainly, I don't think is helpful. I mean, he's not always their lead guard, but like he has a lot of usage. He gets a lot of pick and rolls. Like, good explosion off one from Jase there. But yeah, Ace Bailey and Cam Thomas would be the crazy. Look, I just say that the Jazz, they took Collier at 10 and Cody at 29. I'm like, oh, that's a great draft. But yeah, Collier is honestly, oh my goodness, Cohen Carr, Jesus Christ. Cohen Carr is so ridiculous, man. I love him. Ace has turned off the pass button. Thoughts on Anthony Black? I like him. I think he's definitely limited, and I think the Magic probably need more out of him than he can realistically give you at this moment, just because I don't think he's like a point guard yet. And like, or like, I think he's best as a connecting wing when they need him to be more of a guard creator than he normally can be. Like, he has some good games. He definitely has some really impressive moments. I think early in the season he had some good scoring games, right? His defense is amazing. I just think he will be better when the Magic get a real like guard creator. Let's not Cole Anthony or Jalen Suggs. Like, the Magic just need a guard who has juice. But yeah, Magic are a bad drafting team. I like Jet, and I mean, I honestly have a decent amount of faith in Jet too. I think he has been kind of promising in some of his minutes this year, honestly. He's been incredible in the G League, I mean, his whole time, for whatever that's worth to you. Like, he's just such a dynamic shooter at that size. Like, I will give him chances. Like, I don't think Jet is like a lock, and I think it was like for a team like the Magic, I think you can certainly argue the process for taking Jet, because I think Jet, where they took him in terms of just vacuum value, is fine. Like, I think his upside is worth a late lottery pick. But I also think for a team like Orlando, who already has a lot of these, wingy guys and can really use maybe more solid rotation guys in certain spots, that he wasn't necessarily the best choice. But overall, I kind of believe in him. Having a Najee, good question. I need to check in on that. That's a good question. I like Najee. I like Najee quite a bit as a prospect. I thought he was pretty impactful in some of his like Barcelona ball in the ACB, while having the crazy physical tools. I think he's probably still really young too. Yeah, he's still 20 until this summer. But yeah. I'm still willing to. Let's see. What is Najee doing this year? I'll look it up right now. I want international. Okay, he's not doing much in the whatever league. I always thought Colby Jones was solid when he played, especially as like late in his rookie year. I don't know if the Kings are just like not interested in really using him or developing him. Like I always think he's solid when he plays. Like I generally don't find myself watching because like there's sometimes like when you watch rookies or young players out there and it's like, oh, this guy would never be out here if he wasn't like a young player. But I think Colby generally is like makes good decisions, plays good defense. Wolf. Magic should have, the Dillingham would have been an awesome Magic destination. I agree, but I think Minnesota is awesome for like the same reasons. Yeah, Scoot is good. I agree. I think Portland is just like I don't want to like fully, say Scoot has, he has no blame in or like it's just the situation because he definitely has inarguably been poor for a lot of his career. But it's true. Portland is legitimately might be the worst place in the league for like a young guard. They have like a really bad head coach who doesn't know how to do rotations. They have a bunch of like veterans who don't pass or screen or like space the floor for Scoot. Like I think some of their young like Portland is weird because I think they have like a lot of interesting young players. Like I love Kamara. Like if he can stay healthy, I like Klingon like a decent bit. Denny's a good player. Just like a weirdly disjointed team. Danny Wolf, I think is good, but overrated by some to me. Just because I do think his inability to like legitimately create advantages off the dribble consistently, his like decision making stuff, and I don't love his defense always at the rim. But I do think he's like just centers with his skill level who can shoot enough and defend a little bit in space have a place in the league. I don't necessarily think Aiton is his worst screener ever. Aiton's the worst. Worst screener ever. That is so true. Yeah. I would honestly love if Cooper went to the Pelicans. That would be amazing. I legitimately think that team could be a contender with like a couple like there we go, Ace hitting the shot, with a couple like ass backwards walk into that kind of move. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like Simons. I think Simons is like pretty good. Like I have quite a bit of belief in Simons, honestly, in like a good situation. I think he was he's kind of been underrated recently when he's been healthy. But yeah, I don't know if he fits. I think that's true because I think Sharp is someone you want to really believe in. Oh shit, Scoot had 25. Scoot had 25 against the Thunder. Oh my god, let's go, man. That is so sick. Did I do a Scoot video? I don't remember. I don't think so. If I didn't, I need to. I don't think I did one. Did I? No, I don't think so. At least not recently. But yeah, any other questions or comments or thoughts? If not, I am probably going to end the stream. I have no idea, Oz. You have to just, as far as I know somebody who has a login. I don't know how you like get it. Jase and his NBA value, I think pretty good, honestly. I don't know exactly the ceiling for Jase, but I do think I love guards who can play off of the ball like him. I think those guys are so valuable in the modern NBA. Trendon Watford, probably more like cool and fun than he is good, but I do think a guy like again, I think bigs who can dribble like Watford can and like create a little bit are valuable. Even if they're not like, stars or consistent starters, I do think those guys are like could definitely be worthwhile worthwhile rotation. What do I think Castle will turn out as? I think Castle's going to be like a really high level starter on good teams. In terms of value at his ceiling, I don't know, like Aaron Gordon-ish. I think it's going to look very different than Aaron Gordon, but yeah, that kind of value. Hugo's still top 25. I think so, based on his like dominance against youth competition is really valuable. Like most college players don't have a sample against adults. Ingram destination, I don't know. I kind of like this. I'm like not convinced of Ingram's willingness to play off of the ball, to be honest, because like in theory New Orleans should have been a good place for him. Like his best seasons early in New Orleans was when he was shooting threes off the catch and embracing playing off the ball, but he just doesn't seem to like to do it. Do I believe Jalen Green's hot streak even a little bit? I believe that he was playing well during the streak. Like I think it's I'm never going to believe it until I see it for a consistent amount of time. That's been a thing with him forever. But he's when Jalen Green is playing at his best, he's undoubtedly very good. That's he's awesome when he's on. Malawash BAL tape versus Duke, night and day. Malawash at BAL was like complete physical tools guy who had no idea what he was doing, and is really good now at Duke and has much more of an idea. Trey Tucker Pacers, I have no idea, honestly. I haven't thought about that. But good night, y'all. Thank you so much for watching, and like, subscribe, comment, all that would be so appreciated. Just tell your friends, all that good stuff. Have a good night, though, for you, all of you sickos who are up at whatever your freaking time zone is. Yeah, Green is definitely like inarguably better this season, but see y'all.